Yo, everyone! I wanted to, say hello to all of you. First, I want to say why I didn't upload any videos. It's because I was in Italy and I didn't have a microphone, right? I was in Italy because Erasmus program, right? Sorry for my voice. But yeah, after saying that, right, of my Italian Erasmus. I want to explain you just another guide to say hello to all of you. My guide is of trade, right? I'm gonna explain like really fast because it's not that hard to understand how the trade works and where you want to build trade usually. Okay, so basically, trade is first I'm gonna say is automatically, right? Trade, you don't have to do trade. Trade is automatically. We can argue why this could be bad because maybe yeah. I'm gonna explain why it could be bad. Okay. So the first thing you need to understand is how you trade. This is important, right? Okay, so you trade with trade centers. Yes, kind of easy to understand, right? But you need to understand kind of the building here now because now the building is different than before, right? Well, because many things they changed many things, right? Okay, so trade center imports and exports things. Okay, perfect to understand that. But then, well, you have production methods to increase the capacity of trading. You always do this. But okay, so the thing is, you need to first we will say this. Okay, so you pay wages. And the wages are important because you will notice that the people you employ are clerks and shopkeepers. This means that they have good salaries. Maybe not now, but eventually they will. And even more, but when you will have 300 trade centers, because 300 trade centers will have a super big salaries because these pubs could have really good salaries, really. Okay, so then you have tariffs. Tariffs is because the countries I am exporting right now, they have tariffs. You have tolls. Yeah, I'm paying tolls to Sweden. Danish, blah 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 blah. That goes input. There's a debuff you get if the people you trade this away. I'm gonna explain why this is doesn't care. It's like all of it doesn't care in general. Okay, I'm gonna explain why. Okay, so usually the trade centers are really bad buildings, like only the building, not what they do. The building is bad because why? Because it won't be profit. Like this building won't be profit. Usually, I'm gonna explain why. It's kind of difficult to explain, but basically the trade is automatically, right? So these automatically change a lot of things so fast. It takes a lot of formulas, all of stuff, making is really hard to have this profit. Eventually could be, but if you have a profit trade center, probably you can build even more trade centers. And if you build more trade centers, they won't be profit again. So the thing is, you usually won't have this this won't be profitable. What this means then? Okay, so you usually want to subsidize this, but you say, wait, you want me subsidize all the trade centers in your country? I'm going to lose a lot of money. Yes, you don't do that. Okay, you only subsidize usually one, two, or two provinces which you will build all your trade centers, and you will say, okay, where I build my trade centers then? You usually build them in two states, in two possible states. One state, aka New York, where you is decent to build you in this industry, because why? Because it has port and maybe. This is OP as fuck. This is so OP. Trades their capacity in mapping is super good. Plus, it's a decent state with a decent amount of population they want. So basically, New York will become your state trading by far. And you will subsidize only in this province. Only in this province the trade. And you only will build trade here. You don't care about the rest of your country because this province can do all. Right? You don't need more. But imagine you don't have any province as New York that has this state modifier. If you don't have anything, you will build the trade centers in the best state. I talk about this in the first video. What is a good state? Or you want coal, iron, and pops. That's what you want. If you have one state like that, you build your trade centers there and you subsidize it. Okay, after saying that, this building, as I said, is bad. Okay, because usually it will have a high deficit because blah 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 blah. But you build trade centers not because the profit, not because you will lose money for this, by the way. You build it because trade capacity, only because the trade capacity is the best fucking thing in the fucking, like, vehicle to trade. Okay, the thing is, it's really good. Why? Okay, trade, how it works is trade is literally local. If you see the local prices, you will see that the trade is literally a free consumption of other countries in your market. Literally, right now I'm creating free of consumption. Well, I'm not creating, but like right now I'm exporting 4x boom booms. I say boom booms. So right now I have 4 consumption of other markets in my country because I stole his consumption. Literally, trade is stole consumption of other countries to your country. Why is this good? Because you, with more consumption, that means that you can build even more stuff. Whatever you export, you can spam it more. So if you spam it more, you can export even more. So you can stall more trade. And you say, okay, that's good, Voskura. You are really smart, blah, 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 blah. But how I can apply this? Easily, you want to apply this. Okay, imagine you're playing USA. Okay, you do the classic, I don't know, tank construction sectors, blah 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 blah. You build iron and wood, but eventually, when you decrease the deficit of wood, you put subsidies. You usually, if you want to export something, it doesn't care what you want to export. You need this always, okay, always. So if you, after putting this, you will see that you will start demanding a lot. Like you will start supporting a lot of wood, and after that, you will see, oh, my wood is profitable again, and you can still keep spamming that fucking wood. This means that literally you can fully employ all your country with a wood. I have to say that if you play with AIs doesn't consume that much. So you will see that the trade is slowly increasing and not like, it's not like crazy OP. I mean, it's OP, okay, don't misunderstand me. But if you play with players usually trade. So you can, if the players trade, you will see that the trade is like 4 times better than AIs. Well, because your players are better than, right? But the thing is, and you will see that the way you see the trade capacity, like if you have to build more trade centers, is this. You don't see, like, I don't know, if you say, okay, how I know if I want to build even more trade centers? You come to the best province and you say, okay, I have 51 of 115. That means I don't need more. But if this number is equal to this number, it means that you need to build even more trade centers. Okay? So, recapping really fast, because maybe I explain myself bad. This is my first video, you know. My YouTuber skills are not that good now. So, you need to put first tier subsidies, and you need to build trade centers and check if you need more in the best province you have, okay? Okay, so now I'm going to explain some, and the trade is automatic. I'm going to explain then, after this, I'm going to explain some things that usually people don't know how it works. It's like trade advantage, right? You can be trade advantage import, trade advantage imports, okay? Okay, so trade advantage, how it works is literally decrease the price of something, decrease the price of the something you export without changing the price, but making your good better from the other country. Okay, so imagine you have, I don't know, 100 trade advantage in one good, and you export it. Okay, you will export it for more money. Okay, for more money. It means that you will export, like, imagine 10 of wood of 5 ducats. You will export it for more money, maybe for 7. But you say, oh wait, that's bad. I mean, that's bad because that means that it's not that profitable, right? The thing is, the game, what they do is give you that money, so you earn more money, but at the same time, they don't get that money. They import it at the same price. Let me wait. They import it from the same price, but you earn more. So you create the money from the nothing. You're creating money, right? So that's why it's OP, because you're creating money from nowhere. You're creating consumption, or stalling consumption, and that. But this, at the same time, by the way, this trade advantage also more trade advantage make people buy you more to you and not to other countries, which is good. But another thing too is you also can have trade advantage in imports, because as you know, mercantilism, it has that modifier. How it works? So trade in imports, because I explained in exports. In imports, how it works is if you have less, it means that in the base price, because you always export in the base price, but then depending on the modifiers of export and import trade advantage, the price changes, and also in your market. So the thing is, if imagine you have 100 trade advantage and you are importing, that means that the good you are importing, it has less 100%. It's not 100% of the price. Okay, it's like it's a lot of things, but it's not 100. Imagine you decrease the price, let's say 33%. That means that you're importing something really, really cheap. At the same time, imagine that guy has 100% trade advantage, so he's earning more money, and you are importing really cheap. So if you understand all what I said, it means that literally trade is really, really, really good, and even more when you have wait, let me go to here. Even more when you have, for example, prestige tools or stuff like that, because the trade advantage of the prestige goods are extremely high. 100 base, that's extremely a lot. So the conclusion of all of what I'm saying is you want to maximize the trade advantage. Maybe you want to be autarkic. If you want to be autarkic, maybe you want this, because if you have this modifier, it means that when you're importing, your price is increasing 25% more. So it's really hard to get trade. So maybe you want to play autarkic, you want to play trade. If I'm protectionism, is because you want to like chill out and you don't care. I mean, it's the worst law by far, by the way, right now. Tariffs are not that good now. The reality is that right now the meta is free trade by far, because you want to trade advantage everything you want. Because imagine you are, for example, I don't know, Prussia. You want to import stuff. You need to import stuff that you can't produce. So you want to have that because you want to import it really cheap. At the same time, you want the trade advantage for your exports of, I don't know, industrial goods, right? So the meta right now is, take free trade, spam a lot of trade centers in one province, in one of the best provinces you have, or two provinces, and yeah. So that's the right now meta. If you have any questions, and sorry if I explain myself bad, I didn't do any videos for a long time. My skilled YouTuber videos are kind of obsolete, and yeah. I hope you like the video. Oh yeah, and another thing I wanted to say. Do not only if you this I say this because I that wasn't in my guide. Sorry, this is not part of my guide, but you're saying because this is a company's guide I will do. Do not give trade rights to companies in early game. Only give them late game and only to one company. And I will explain that. This is like hype. In another video I will do about companies. But yeah, that's all. Thank you for your time. Sorry for my skilled videos. It was a really bad video in my opinion. But I hope you like the video. And congratulations.